Hey friends out there in ukulele land, this is your third lesson. Robert Ham here with School of Uke to help you get moving. Come join me on the couch as we begin. Guys, we're going to continue today what we were building on the previous two lessons. The first couple lessons we've introduced the chords C, A minor, F, and G, and we've also introduced how to properly tune. So let's start off with that. If you don't have your tuner handy, let me give you the sounds. Here we go with G, C, E, and A. And also, let's go over the chords that we've been using. C chord is right here with your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Moving over to A minor with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of your G string. We've got F right here. We're just going to put our index finger down on the 1st fret of our E string. And G, we're actually moving to this diamond shape. And the G has our index finger on the 2nd fret of the C string, has our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and has our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And it sounds like this. Guys, if those were tough, go back and check out lesson 1. This week we're also going to introduce E minor right here. You can see that, and we're going to go over that in a second. And we're also going to begin going over our C scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Very important. That's also our do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So if you're ready, let's jump right into it. All right, friends, let's learn our C scale, and we're going to learn it one note at a time. Remember, our strings are G, C, E, and A. And our C scale is going to start on our open C string. So C, D at the 2nd fret of our C string, which is the note D. This is the name D and what it sounds like. The open E. Our index finger on the 1st fret, which is F. Slide up to the 3rd fret of the E string, which is G. Open A. The 2nd fret of the A string, which is B, and then high C. Okay? And just so that we know, this C right here is middle C, the middle C on a piano. So we can't get any deeper in voice on our ukulele than our open C string. That is our lowest tone, unless we had the octave lower G. We could go with an octave lower G, and that'd put the C before G. That'd be the G, the middle G. But we're here. We don't ever really talk about that on the grand staff. We're on C. Now let's talk a little bit about notes and how scales work. Western scales go by whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And we're talking about tones. And here on our fretboard, we can see that whole and half can be measured by the actual frets. And let's get that started. C. C sharp, that's a half step. D, that's a whole step. C, one whole step up gets to D. A half step up gets to D sharp. Another half step up gets to E. So we've gone 2 whole steps. C, D, E. Now, to remember, it's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So our half note, our semitone up, is just 1 fret, F. So let's look at it again from the beginning. C, whole step, which is 2 frets, D, a whole step, which is another 2 frets, E. Between E and F is only a half step, always, F. Now we have another whole step. How many frets is that? If you said 2, you're right. That's G. Between G, the next one is another whole step. We round to A. Music has 8 tones, starting with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A is the octave. Okay? B is another whole step and a half step to C. A good way to remember the half step notes is with the word B, B-E. B to E is a half step, and E to F is a half step. So here we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's your scale, and you can find that scale anywhere. This is our C scale, which have no sharps or flats, and so it's just a natural scale. But that's kind of rough to play like this. We'd prefer to play it with our frets on the open strings because we're going to get a more natural tone. And on an ukulele like this, even on some high-end ukuleles, sometimes intonation at the 12th fret might be out. So what we do here, let's put it together. C to D is a whole step. C, whole step is D, whole step is E, open E, half step F, whole step G, whole step A, whole step B, half step C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And that's playing it with one finger. When you get ready, you can actually C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C right there, and then you can come back down with C, B, A, G, F, E, D, D, and then C. I said D twice, gotta excuse me. I like to end my scale of C with a G chord and a C chord, and that's so that I can listen to it, hear the sustain, and make sure that the notes are properly in tune. All right, friends, we've had our C scale, and it sounds nice. Practice that. It's very important. It's going to help build your finger dexterity. You can also move and go real quick, go up and down. Next week, we'll have a second exercise where we skip notes. We go every other note back and forth so it sounds kind of arpeggioed, which is real nice. Let's go ahead and get into our other chord we talked about, which is going to be our E minor. Beautiful chord, because today we're going to go over, once we add the E minor, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And we're going to begin an easy version for you to play. So, if you're ready, let's get started. Hey friends, let's get this E minor chord knocked out. And now there's a couple ways to make chords with an ukulele. Because the ukulele has 4 strings and can make a total of 4 tones, and chords require 3 tones, sometimes chords are built slightly differently but given the same name. And that's totally cool. It's one of the things that I like about the ukulele. The reason that's important is that this right here is an E minor, so is that, raising the middle finger. And if you see that out in books anywhere, just know that there are many different ways to build your chords, but I'm showing you just the most common way to build the chord. And let's actually look at this. We're going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see right here, we are going to put our index finger on the B note of the A string. We're going to put our middle finger on the G note of the E string. And we're going to put our ring finger on the D note of the C string. And we play them together like this. We have an E minor. Now, I'm going to strum it for you just so that you have the sound while you're practicing it at home. If you hear any buzzing from your middle finger, which is the G sound, go ahead and raise it. And that's okay because this E is in the E minor chord, so you will just reinforce that dominant root chord or root note of the E minor chord. So it's okay. So if you need to practice with the E off or the G off the E string, go for it. It's not a problem. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pluck this so you have just some nice tones. I'm going to give you the count. 4 measures of whole notes with the E minor, just for you to practice. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. And 4, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So let's look at this. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, this simple version is going to basically have us playing whole notes for our chords. Now, you can strum different patterns, but right now we're just going to focus on the whole notes, which means 4 beats per measure, 4 beats per whole note before we switch. And the count's going to be nice and slow for us to get this moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be my count. So I'm going to play through this so that you can hear it, and then we'll go together. So 1, 2, ready, on the C. Some, 2, 3. E minor. Were the rainbow F way up to the C high. 3, back to the F. There's to the C, land that I've heard of, to the G. Once on a lullaby, to the C. Now, I was trying to give you the words in between there, but I also did so on the same tuning or the same beat, the rhythm. So I want you to hear that again on whole notes. We're going to start with the C. 1, 2, C, begin. 1, 2, 3, E minor. 1, 2, 3 to F. 1, 2, 3 to C. 1, 2, 3 to F. 1, 2, 3 to C. 1, 2, 3 to G. 1, 2, 3 back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could hear there that as I was counting, we are just playing the notes, the chords I should say, as whole notes. Somewhere to E minor, over that rainbow to F, way up to C, high, back to F, there's to C, land that I've dreamt of, to G, once on a lullaby, to the C, and we hold it. Okay, so somewhere over that rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once on a lullaby. Okay, now that's with whole notes, and it sounds great, and that's the way that you should practice it once you begin getting these chords, and it's going to help your strum pattern. But we can also use down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now here, when we think about this, somewhere over that rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once on a lullaby. So when we begin to play that, down, down, up is actually 2 beats. Somewhere over that rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Now, on the very last beat, where we go from our G to our C, we actually move a little bit quicker into the C chord from the G on the 3rd beat. If you don't do that, that's totally cool. It's part of the syncopation and it kind of drives the rhythm of the music, but it's a lot of fun. I wanted to go over this today to give you something to practice for next week so that we go directly into Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And this arrangement is one of the easy arrangements that's going to get you up and running very quickly. But also, after we learn this, there's a more advanced version that uses some different chords, 6th and 7th chords, which is quite a bit of fun. And I really look forward to sharing that with you guys. That'll be in the coming weeks. We're going to continue to focus on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So your homework, if there is any such thing, is to practice your chord changes on your whole notes for Somewhere Over the Rainbow, so you get them so that you have them memorized. Notice in my videos I don't pop up a bunch of chords for you, and there's a very important reason, and that's because I'm sharing this with you as I would teach it to you in person, and I wouldn't have a chord chart showing for you. If we identified a chord that wasn't working very well for you, we would then go and focus on that chord, because I'd like for you to have an intuitive response to these. That way later on, as we're changing, you can flow with the music rather than get stuck looking for the sheets. However, if you want to know the chords, go back to lesson 1 where we learn C, A minor, F, and G. Guys, I want to thank you for watching and remind you that I will catch you on the flip side. Happy strumming.